Good afternoon. This afternoon I'm going to show you how to make a Norwegian pastry called sandbakkels. And the recipe we showed you here, and I'm just going to review that for you. 1 cup of sugar, 1 egg, 1 cup of shortening, and it says half butter or half flour, half butter for flavor, or you could also use a half a cup of butter and a half a cup of Crisco. And in times past, olden times, I know my grandmother used to use maybe a quarter of a cup of lard, or even half of butter, half lard. But I like it better with more butter, and I use like Crisco instead of the lard. So a teaspoon of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of sweet cream, or if you have some whipping cream in the refrigerator, you could use 3 tablespoons of it. 3 cups of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So you need to mix all these together, and it's good to use a long wooden spoon because it's going to be very stiff. But it's not stiff enough to make it into these little tins right away. You need to refrigerate the dough, and I usually make it the night before. So I have preheated the oven, and I just wanted to tell you about the tins. Now, there are different kinds of tins. You usually can get them in some kind of a cook shop, or you probably can get them online. And these are very old. These are ones that my grandmother had. So those are probably, maybe close to 100 years old. These I got recently because I wanted to add to the number I had. Plus, there are also these other kinds that you can get that are in different shapes if you like to make a more shallow one. Or there are little tins too. You sometimes see those at a bake sale. But I like this size. And some people choose to put some kind of fruit filling in here. But the old Norwegians always like to just use these like a cookie. And so we just take them out of the shell and eat them that way. Now, as you can see, I've been working on these, and this is time intensive. It's not like you can just drop the little cookie dough onto the cookie sheet like you can many cookies. This takes some real pressing in this little shell. So like I said, you take a little piece of the dough and make it, soften it up a little bit and put it in the bottom, and then continue to press against the sides, and it moves up, and you keep, because you want to get them very thin. As you can see, you can almost see the tin here through. You can see the dough, but you can see the tin because you want them to be thin. So, and if you do make a mistake, like when you're taking them out of the shell, and that is the real challenge. And I have some in the oven right now, and as soon as I finish this one, we can go and try to get those out of the shell. So we're going to bake them at 325, and you've preheated your oven. It says 8 minutes, but it's more like 10 or 12 minutes. But it depends on your oven. So we're going to move into the kitchen, and I'm going to just leave those here until I fill that pan. But I'm going into the kitchen now and look and see if these are ready that are in the oven. Right, they are. I like them to stay, they're still, they stay pretty white, but sometimes they get a little darker, and it's okay too. But you just don't want to burn them. You don't want a burn taste. But we got to let them just cool